It is still it is still day 33, but we'll pretend it's day 34, and it is time for 10D9 ring rows. But this is my big challenge, my limitation. I've failed twice at sixes, once at sevens. So I'm going to regress down to fives, and we'll see what that does for me. Let's go. I'll just rest here. Oh. So just reducing volume will increase my recovery automatically. So even if I could continue doing sixes, it might be more beneficial for me to do fives, simply to have a little less stimuli to recover from. And resting between sets intentionally. Now I'm speaking, which is already detrimental. I could simply be breathing more intentionally. Something that I've grown conscious to over the past 4 weeks following this training program, moving away from my previous um, highly varied range and intensity program, is how my fascia is sort of congealing. It's really becoming stiff from the lack of range and variation. So what do I want to say with that? Well, Thomas Sowell, there are no solutions, only trade-offs. This is a very, very narrow focused training program. It has a very broad application that can be built on top of it, but it is still very limited. And especially for flexibility, for skill, there is a lot lacking. But we can't have everything at the same time. Something very deceptive about training that is important to realize is you can have training that feels good while you're doing it or immediately afterwards. But that is generally not the type of training that will make you feel good long term. In my experience, it's at least very hard to synthesize those two into one. This training program is a strong and wide physical foundation to do more on top of. Now you saw me do the bridge. It wasn't pretty. But I can do a bridge because I've built that foundation. I can refine it and improve it. I haven't done a bridge in 4 weeks or more, 5 weeks maybe. But it would be better for me to do bridges consistently for my anterior fascial chain, or my posterior muscular chain. So far, so good with the rows. Hoping to finish this workout strong. It's going to be a day and a half of travel. Oh. I got some stuckness going on in my thoracic spine. Once again, linear movements. We need more. Starting to get hard. Starting to feel the resistance at the top portion, last centimeters of range. But yeah, rotation, flexion, extension, laterally as well. Of course, axial extension through the spine, lengthening. Helps with hydration of tissues as well, which means increased recovery. So comparing this training program to the previous one, which was more advanced, 5-day phases, 5 different variations and intensities with different ranges and movements. I recovered better doing that, even though I was using the same muscle groups, movement archetypes, fascial chains and such. Every day I was recovering better than having 3 days off specifically during this program. That does tell you something. My body felt better, lighter, fresher. Now you might question, why are you doing this program, Simon? Well, I want to create this foundation for anyone joining this community, because this is basically the bottom of the pyramid of all calisthenics, but strength training in general. It is a foundation for Olympic weightlifting. If we're looking at weighted barbells and high skill weighted movement. Now, what some people call resistance training, gym style training, bodybuilding, I honestly view that as an abomination. It is low skill, non functional, which I define just as detached from reality movement, meaning it does not create movement patterns, skills, coordination, balance, and bodily understanding that translates into real world tasks. Yes, you have the engine, but you don't have the driver. And that is the problem. We do want the physical capacity and the neurological skill, and to fuse those two to become better at performing in everyday life. So, yeah. Once we have this foundation, we can also handle more volume. That's greater stress, stimuli, whatever you want to call it, so that we can expand our training. And we can take this wide base of the pyramid and we can allocate, half to expanding our physical capacity, flexibility, cardio, skill work, and have the other half just for maintenance of strength and tissue. So this basically, you need some money in the bank account to be able to start investing, right? So this is saving our baseline so that we have something to work with. And I need to rebuild my baseline because I've had a very, very narrow pyramid for a number of years that's just been shrinking and shrinking and becomes very unstable. So with that, follow my template in the comments if you want to join the community. Link somewhere adjacent to the video. Have a nice day. Peace.